much farther along percentage-wise is Braxton compared to this time a year ago? As you stand here a week and a half before the season starts.
I don't know how to quantify it. He's head and shoulders better than he was and farther ahead. I think his grasp of what we're trying to do offensively, as well as his mechanics. You asked for a number, I don't know, but I do know this. I sleep a lot easier at night than I did last year around this time. I'm not saying he's a finished product by any stretch of the imagination, but it does make coming to work a little bit easier knowing that he is progressing the way that he is.
I was going to say, is he more fluent, in the language of the offense and everything else? Is that what? Explain
Absolutely.
What that means.
Yeah,
to
we speak the same language. He understands. There's no confusion on his part when I say something. Coach, what do you mean by that? Coach, say it again a different way. It's there are times when it's still a little bit of that, but for the most part, we speak the same language. We talk, about things defensively, offensively, his fundamentals, where the route should be, how the defense is covering it, cloud corner versus an off corner versus a man corner. All those things they're second nature to him. He doesn't have to think about it, and it makes, the learning curve that much faster even, the more he learns, the more fluent he gets. Now the more we can go, and it just kind of snowballs a little bit.
Tom, how much silver effect
that has on the difference does it make to have a lot of staff together for a second year?
Oh, I think you look at most of the successful college football teams across the country, and one of the main pieces of that puzzle is staff continuity. And I think 120 Division I teams, I think there was only 18 that kept the same 9 assistants, and so we take a lot of pride in that. Obviously, Ohio State, I don't know of a better place to work for Coach Meyer and what we've got going here. So it's easy for us assistants to stick around, certainly, but I do think that has a lot to do with the direction that we're headed.
Hey, Coach, what about what you have at your disposal this year in terms of weapons? And we've heard a number of coaches say we only used 60% of the playbook last year, given the talent in the backfield and other places.
Yeah, I think the first thing that I've said early in camp is that our veterans are improved. They're better. Yeah. Evan Spencer's had a great camp. Evan Spencer's a starting wide receiver at The Ohio State University. Philly Brown is better. Devin Smith is better. So we're better on our tight ends. I challenge anybody in the country to have 2 better tight ends, 1 and 2 than we have. So I think that coupled with the infusions of some of the young talent with Dontre and Ezekiel and James Clark and some of those guys, that it allows you to not feel as constricted in terms of your trust level in the guys out there making plays and being in the right spot. But at the same time, we have to temper that too as coaches, because I think one of the things that has really helped our improvement this fall camp is we're doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, where last year it was, oh my gosh, we're doing this for 3 days straight and we're terrible at it, so let's try something different, and let's try something different 3 days later. So we never really had an identity throughout training camp, and this year it feels like we do. And so we've got to be careful not to, we got all these new toys, right. Let's create a whole new offense every week or every period of practice or anything like that. We're going to do what we do and plug those pieces of puzzles in where need be.
I'm sorry. Braxton completed about 58% of his passes last year. What's acceptable in your mind? What's he got to work up to this year?
I think our goal is our goal would be 70%. I think at the end of the day, if he's right at 67%, 2 out of 3 passes, and that's on me as it is Braxton, as much as it is Braxton, because I didn't do a very good job of calling plays to get the ball out of his hands as well as I could. And then when I did, he's got to take some ownership on that too. We didn't complete as many as should be on some of those higher percentage passes. So I think our goal this year is and that's certainly not unattainable. You think you go from 58 to 68, you're talking about 10 more completions out of 100 attempts. 1 out of every 10 attempts, just 1 more completion out of 10 attempts. I think that's fairly realistic.
He says he'd like to get at that 30 attempt range or more a game. Do you see him as that kind of with that kind of capability?
Yeah, that's probably pretty accurate. As we look at the breakdown of who we are and what our personality is. We're still always going to be a run-first team and set up the play-action pass and the first down drop-back screens, quick relief plays off of the run game. Everything's going to start with our run game. But 75 snaps in a game on average, yeah, you'd like to be around 30 to 32 attempts.
Tom, when you talk about having two tight ends you really like and trust, what does that do for you as an offense?
Oh, well, it allows you to have a little freedom in the run game and pass game, and the good thing about us being no huddle is we don't have to take those guys off the field. We don't have a blocking tight end and a pass catching tight end. We got two tight ends that can line up and do both things, and so it allows us to play faster. It allows us to keep the entire offense in out of one personnel group, and so the whole premise of being no huddle is to keep the defense on the field and get them running around, get them tired, all that stuff. But if you're subbing guys out that have specialty roles, then the defense is allowed to substitute too. So I think that biggest flexibility offensively comes in the fact that they can do both things very, very well.
Last year you mentioned how Braxton wasn't big early on. It's like if he didn't do it, it's tough, right?
Oh, yeah.
So this year, do you get a sense from him like there's less pressure on him? He seems more relaxed this year, grasping the offense and moving forward, and obviously taking this offense as a whole.
Yeah, I think to your point, the trust level that he has in the guys around him has certainly grown and allowed him to take a little bit off his shoulders. But I think it maybe sounds kind of hokey a little bit, but the trust level he has in himself allows him to be a little bit more relaxed and calm back there and understand, when everything looks chaotic, we got a helmet cage. For those of you that think you want to play quarterback in Division I college football, you should take a look at what this guy has to go through, in 3 seconds on any given pass play or any given run play. So, but the fact that he's done it over and over and over again and knows he trusts himself and he trusts the guys around him, which allows him to be a lot more relaxed.
Tom, are you comfortable with Kenny Guy word to play?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Based on what he did a year ago against Purdue, or just on body?
Everything.
And in what ways has he been?
I think Kenny's getting the ball out a little quicker. The big knock on him was, had all the intangibles that you could ask for of a leader, of a quarterback. Knew the offense inside and out. He's a coach on the field. He just didn't quite have the quick release and velocity on the ball. That's improved. It's certainly not close to where Braxton's is, or maybe some of the elite guys in the country, but he makes up for maybe some of that deficiency with his leadership, his ability, his anticipation, and so he's a rock in my game.
I think I've said he's one of maybe the best backer in the nation, something like that. I mean,